So here 2Cu plus O2, it gives 2CuO, 2CuO. And thus remember, this is the first method for the preparation of CuO. Then second, by the thermal decomposition. By the thermal decomposition. By the thermal decomposition of copper carbonate, CuCO3. And now, when thermal decomposition of copper carbonate is carried out, it gives copper oxide and carbon dioxide. Now, so there are two different methods for the preparation of CuO, copper oxide. Now, if we obtain 1 mole copper oxide, which is prepared by method 1, and if we obtain 1 mole copper oxide, which is prepared by method 2, and if we reduce copper from this copper oxide with the help of hydrogen, so reduction of 1 mole CuO, reduction of 1 mole CuO by hydrogen, if it is carried out, then it gives, so CuO plus H2, it gives Cu plus H2O. And thus remember, sample of CuO obtained by first method and sample of CuO obtained by second method. Now here 1 mole CuO from first method and 1 mole CuO from second method. So when this copper oxide is reduced by hydrogen, then we obtain here 1 mole copper. So 1 mole copper oxide, it gives 1 mole copper with oxygen. Now here, as 1 mole copper oxide after reduction, it gives 1 mole copper. It indicates that 1 mole copper oxide, which is prepared by first method or by second method, so when it is reduced by hydrogen, as it gives 1 mole copper, it indicates that 1 mole copper oxide always consists 1 mole copper. And remember, 1 mole copper, it means equal to its gram atomic mass, that is 63.5 gram. 63.5 gram. And thus remember, here 1 mole copper oxide of first method and 1 mole copper oxide of second method, remember, so it gives 63.5 gram during reduction. It indicates that the amount of copper present in 1 mole copper oxide, it is same, though the method of preparations are different. Now as the amount of copper is same, no doubt amount of oxygen also present in same amount in first sample and second sample. It indicates that every sample of pure copper oxide always consists copper and oxygen as 2 elements, and their composition by mass is same. So thus remember, it explains the law of constant proportion or law of definite proportion. Now you can decide the percentage purity of a given sample of compound by calculating the percentage of element in given compound. So how to decide whether a given compound is 100% pure? So purity, percentage purity, it can be calculated from the percentage of element in given compound. For example, let us consider, you know that the percentage of hydrogen in H2O. So what is the percentage? You know that how to calculate percentage. So percentage is equal to this formula, mass of element in 1 mole compound. Mass of element in 1 mole compound divided by molar mass of compound, divided by molar mass of compound, multiplied by 100. It gives, yes, percentage of element in given compound. Now let us we calculate percentage of hydrogen as well as percentage of oxygen in given water sample. So percentage of hydrogen in water. You know that here 1 mole water consists 2 gram. What is molar mass of water? 18. And thus remember 2 upon 18 multiplied by 100, or it is equal to 200 upon 18, and so that is equal to 11.11. And thus remember in terms of yes, percentage, remember for the purity, if a given sample of water, if it consists 11.11% of hydrogen, if given sample of water, if it consists 11.11% of hydrogen, then that sample of water is 100% pure. Now about the percentage of oxygen in pure water. So percentage of oxygen. So percentage of oxygen in water, pure water, so which is equal to, now what is mass of oxygen in 1 mole compound? That is 16 gram. What is molar mass? 18 multiplied by 100, and so which is equal to 1600 divided by 18, and so which is equal to then 88.88. Now then again it indicates that, so how you decide the percentage purity of water in terms of percentage of oxygen, So if a given sample of water consists 88.8% of oxygen, given water consists 88.88% of oxygen, indirectly that sample of water is 100% pure. And thus from the percentage of given element you can decide the purity of given compound. Now let us consider, suppose H2O consists 10% hydrogen. Suppose the sample of water consists 10% hydrogen, then what is the percentage purity? What is percentage purity? What is percentage purity of water? What percentage purity of water sample? Now already we explained that if a sample of water consists 11.11% hydrogen, that is 100% pure. And thus remember 11.11% of hydrogen in water, it gives 100% purity. 100% purity of water. Now then if a sample of water consists 10% hydrogen, then 10% hydrogen in water it gives, so that is equal to 10 multiplied by 100 divided by 11.11, and thus remember, so which is equal to 1000 upon 11.1, and so which is equal to 90%. It indicates that if a given sample of water consists 10% hydrogen, then that sample of water is not 100% pure, it is only 90% pure. Then similarly, from the percentage of oxygen, you can also calculate the percentage purity. You know that if a sample of water consists 88.88% oxygen, then it is 100% pure. And then if it consists, instead of 88.88, if it consists less percentage of oxygen, then no doubt it is not 100% pure. And thus remember, percentage purity of sample of compound, it can be calculated from the percentage of element in given compound. Now, the percentage purity of a given sample of compound, it can be also obtained from the mass of element in a given mass of compound. For example, we expect that 18 gram of water always consists 2 gram hydrogen and note down 16 gram of oxygen. But instead of here 2 gram of hydrogen, suppose that sample of water consists only 1.9 gram hydrogen. So if 18 gram water consists, if 18 gram water consists 1.9 gram hydrogen, if 18 gram water consists 1.9 gram hydrogen, then what is the percentage purity? What is the percentage purity of water? Percentage purity of water. And thus remember, what is our expectation? You know that if that sample of water is 100% pure, then 18 gram water consists 2 gram of hydrogen. And thus remember, 2 gram hydrogen in 18 gram water, it gives 100% purity. And thus remember, 2 gram of hydrogen in 18 gram water, it gives 100% purity. Then 1.9 gram hydrogen in 18 gram water, it gives how much percentage purity? So which is equal to 100 multiplied by 1.9 divided by 2. So 100 multiplied by 1.9 divided by 2. And so which is equal to then, so it is 50, or so it is equal to here 190 divided by 2. Now 190 divided by 2, it means that is 95. It indicates that, remember, if 18 gram of water consists 1.9 gram of hydrogen instead of 2 gram, what is the percentage purity of water sample? That is 95. That sample is 95%. And thus remember, the second law, that is law of definite proportion, it states that any pure chemical compound always consists the same element, and the percentage of element in given compound is also same. That percentage and the nature of element, it is independent from the method of preparation of that compound. It is also independent from the source of that compound. So this is law of definite proportion or law of definite composition. Now let us consider the third law of chemical combination, that is law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportion. Now, what is statement of law of multiple proportion? Now, law of multiple proportion is, remember, it is applicable when two elements combine chemically to form more than one compound. So it is applicable for the condition when two elements combine to form more than one compound. And thus remember, what is statement? When two elements combine to form more than one compound. So law of multiple proportion, when two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different mass of one element, combines with different mass of one element combines with fixed mass of other, fixed mass of other. So different mass of one element combines with fixed mass of other always form a simple ratio, always form a simple ratio. And thus remember, this law of multiple proportion, it is applicable when two elements they form more than one compound. Now, then general remember, let elements A and B, elements A and B combine to form two compounds. Elements A and B combines to form two compounds. Number one, molecular formula of first compound is, let us consider AB, and molecular formula of second compound, it is AB2. And so remember, when these two elements A and B combine to form two compound AB and AB2. Now here mass of A is fixed but mass of B is variable. Then the mass of B, variable mass of B, which combines with fixed mass of A, always a simple ratio. Then variable mass of B, combines with fixed mass of A or constant mass of A, fixed mass of A, always a simple ratio, always a simple ratio. It means here B1 and B2, remember ratio of B1 to B2 is always a simple ratio. So variable mass of B which combines with fixed mass of A, always a simple ratio. So this is law of multiple proportion. Yes.